the snowstorm arrived without warning. One moment, the city streets were crowded with headlights and evening traffic, and the next, the world disappeared beneath thick white chaos. Wind slammed against buildings. Cars skidded across frozen roads. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. In the middle of it all, millionaire businessman Daniel Hayes gripped the steering wheel of his luxury SUV as panic tightened around his chest like a chain. "Where are my boys?" he whispered for the 10th time, his voice shaking harder each second. Just an hour earlier, his twin sons, Noah and Liam, had been safely inside their private academy waiting for their driver. But when Daniel's assistant called to say the school had closed early because of the storm, everything spiraled into disaster. The driver never arrived. The boys were gone. Their phones were dead. And now, somewhere in the freezing storm, his 8-year-old sons were alone. Safe. "You saved my sons," Daniel said quietly. Sophie shrugged with a small smile. Any mother would have done the same. The words hit Daniel harder than she realized. Something inside him broke. All these years, he had believed success meant power, money, and control. But standing in that tiny diner, watching a poor waitress sacrifice her own meal for his children, Daniel felt smaller than he ever had in his entire life. "Thank you," he said, his voice trembling. "I can never repay you for this." Sophie smiled softly. "You already can." "How?" She looked at the twins. "Spend time with them. They missed you more than the storm scared them." Silence filled the diner. Daniel looked at his sons, and guilt crashed into him like a wave. He remembered canceled vacations. Missed birthdays. Promises broken because of meetings. He had provided everything money could buy, except himself. That night changed him forever. The next morning, the city woke to shocking news. Billionaire Daniel Hayes had canceled a $1 billion merger meeting for the first time in his career. Instead, he spent the day building snowmen with Noah and Liam outside their mansion. Reporters were stunned. Investors panicked. But Daniel didn't care. Days later, he returned to the diner. Sophie looked surprised to see him. "I came to offer you a job," Daniel said. She frowned slightly. "I'm not qualified to work in your company." "That's not the job." Daniel smiled gently. "I want you to run a foundation for struggling single mothers and children. Full salary. Full support. Because someone with your heart can change lives." Tears filled Sophie's eyes. Months later, the Hayes Foundation opened shelters, food programs, and emergency storm centers across the city. But Daniel's greatest success wasn't found in newspapers or bank accounts anymore. It was found every night when his sons laughed beside him at the dinner table. And sometimes, during winter evenings, Daniel would drive past that little diner and remember the terrifying night he almost lost everything important in his life. Not because of the storm, but because he had forgotten what truly mattered. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications for more emotional and life-changing stories that remind us all about love, kindness, and family.